When talking about games from Osaka's Platinum Games, the action, gameplay and scenes get a lot of credit, as they should. Platinum Games' objective when creating an experience, after all, is to create a game experience that feels good to play and to watch. So usually the narrative inside follows very explosive personalities and set pieces. What I'd like to discuss here though are other stylistic elements of the game that I personally found interesting enough to discuss, because within the fun there are also some nice things to find in the calmer moments. So today I'd like to explore through this lens the Bayonetta games, which are a very apt case study of this. One of the first things one would notice in the cutscene direction of the first Bayonetta is how many of the cutscenes are presented in this storyboard-ish filmy style. While many times confirmed to be a stylish, cost-effective way to present the narrative, this aspect connects it even more to its own cinematographical roots, because this game has a lot of cited cultural inspirations, like with names of weapons, poses, creatures, and more. One of the inspiration that it owes and interestingly contrasts to the most is the 1961 American film Breakfast at Tiffany's, which, apart from sharing its main theme with the second Bayonetta game, having its protagonist with a vaguely similar hairstyle, and even having scenes referencing directly in Bayonetta, the main difference between the two, apart from not having racist caricature of Japanese people like Jesus Christ what the fuck, is how cats are used to represent the main themes of the narratives. In Breakfast at Tiffany's ending, the cat is used as a metaphor to say that, like the cat, the main character cannot live without an owner. And
I love you.
Jesus
You belong
Christ,
to me.
this fucking film. In Bayonetta, on the other hand, the stuffed cat Cheshire has multiple layers of meaning. On the first is a reference to the Alice in Wonderland trickster cat, and how Cereza is lost in time, just how Bayonetta herself has lost her memories. It's also representing visually Bayonetta's mixed parentage, here represented by the stitching holding two different sides together, and the importance of her left eye. Furthermore, its presentation leads up to the main thematic relevance of Bayonetta, understanding who she is and her becoming her true self once more.
No need to be afraid, little one. The nightmare is over. Everything was just a dream. You're a strong little girl. There is nothing you cannot overcome.
Mommy, did you find it? What you were looking for?
Yes, I found it. So don't you worry anymore. You just keep your treasure safe too. Sweet dreams, little one. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words...
And without being fucking racist. One of the main antagonistic entities in Bayonetta is the Order of Laguna, a group of angelic-like entities that hunt down Bayonetta on the regular. Design-wise they are great, as a lot of media creatures do. They incarnate elements of the story, and in this case they also incarnate thematic elements of the city of Vigrid, down to the marmoreal architecture like shell they done, which, much like the city, reveals itself as a facade to a darker self, such as the fleshy interiors of the angels, and the seemingly peaceful town that reveals itself as a fundamentalist authoritarian regime that literally harvests people to resurrect a god of creation. On the topic of architecture and world design, the style of building and environments were ideated by Ikumi Nakamura, along other things like accessories and world design stuff, was purposely crafted to even contrast Bayonetta's silhouette, so to have her clearly seeable most of the time, along with many other extremely almost minuscule details, like how the guns used by Bayonetta, which by request of Muneyuki Johnny Kotegawa, since they are based of automatic guns, they have a little bit less recoil of Jans, which are best of the Luger kind, like their guns, I don't know. The angels and witches in the game use a fictional language created by the English John Dee and Edward Kelly in 1583. In a blog post written by J.P. Kellams, who worked on the English script of Bayonetta, he goes into further detail on how this language is then implemented in the narrative and some neat details that are relative to the lore of demons and the like. For example, when Bayonetta summons the demon Gomorrah, her chant is usually, which translates to thunder, which is a cheeky reference to how the city of Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed by divine thunder. Another one will be with the demon Malphas, which is known to destroy desires and thoughts. So when you fight angels like Fortitude and the Inspired, they are most likely to appear. And not only for demons, the game follows not only lore but even artistic iconography for angels and characters like Father Balder, who has a lot of peacock imagery associated with him, which in Italian Renaissance symbology is a symbol of purity, which, like tarot cards, can gain a second meaning as it represents vanity. This tarot analogy comes into play a lot more in the second game, as they are the tool of one of the main characters, and the narrative framing of the whole story. Furthermore, Bayonetta 2's plot revolves around giving further meaning to actions of the characters present in the first game, while also presenting a new side of them, recontextualizing and giving more clarity to the plot of the first one. So yeah. An interesting discussion to have about the angels and demons present in the story is how they are called like virtues, emotions, and even characters present in human media, which makes us wonder if this is a chicken and egg situation in regards to how they were named, as they could be a manifestation of human consciousness or simply assimilating elements from it, or if they are influencing the human psyche. In this regard, Jubileus the creator is extremely interesting, as like the Christian gods, they have an intelligible name. So the name Jubileus was assigned to them in response to the festivities human created in her apparitions. And also, with the chicken and egg thing, the egg came first. I just know. The music in Bayonetta's soundtracks is widely and rightfully praised, as it manages to meld almost effortlessly a wide range of genres. First of all, I'd like to address the sound team, composed of Platinum's Hiroshi Yamaguchi and Masami Weapon Ueda, who already worked with Hideki Kamiya on soundtracks in things like Okami, which directed the general soundtrack's mood and style. Noribiko Hibino, who is best known for the Metal Gear soundtracks on cutscene composition. Rei Kondo, who also returns from Okami for boss tracks. Sega's Hero, who worked on special remixes. And finally Helena Noguera, who acted as the lead singer on tracks. All of them deserve the rightful praise, as many of the developing team do. As said before, Platinum Games has a blog section where various staff members discuss about what they worked on in a game. I would suggest you to check them out. What I'd like to go over for last is how various themes in Super Director Master Hideki Kamiya's games are issued. As stated in some interviews, one of the ways that he would issue a soundtrack feel would be by giving the main composer music that would more or less be along the lines that he's looking for, and then let the other composers work along the line of prototype songs that they would make. This can be seen in previous games like Okami. In the soundtrack you can find a song simply titled Image Prototype 2, which has bits of a snow theme from Heroes of Might and Magic 4, recreated with new instruments. which then is used as a base for other themes. Ironically enough, this snow theme also goes along the lines of Diana Arkenstone's World of Light, which is like a sort of Enigma style thing. The same happened in Bayonetta with Duel of Fates from Star Wars becoming one of a kind. And in Bayonetta 2 too, one can hear this, for example, with Gomora's theme having bits from Nier or from Two Steps from Hell. And Glamour's theme having most of the structure of United we stand, divided we fall, still by Two Steps from Hell. This style of composition is actually not that uncommon, and it's mostly present in big budget films like Hollywood ones. It's useful to coordinate the various composers working on it while maintaining theme. And in general, as I went at the beginning, this cinematographic comparison is not out of place, as Platinum Games' modus operandi in regards to referencing past works can be seen with them using the Italian term portare rispetto, which basically means both paying homage and respecting past work openly. Because if they find a way of expressing a fun idea with something they remember, they put it in and refine it to the best experience they can manage to create. On the topic of films, media and repurposing, and Italian, I was thinking about the Italo-American character in Bayonetta called Enzo. Like, he's there maybe to refer to the Italo-American mobster Sally Tomato in Breakfast at Tiffany's, which apart from being another caricature, in this case Italian, in that film, it made me think of films in general, and specifically films basically in New York, you know, Italo-Americans. And on a sort of like meta-narrative viewpoint, the story of Bayonetta, the game and the character, just like the film Once Upon a Time in America with its character Noodles, it's about a story of a person reconnecting to their past. In a way, this can be seen reflected on master director Hideki Kamiya, who, when striking out as a developer in his own studio, which is Platinum Games, he decided, on suggestion of his co-workers, to tackle again the genre that he was famous for, which is the Devil May Cry-like genre, which I usually refer to Platinum Action for brevity's sake. And in a way, Bayonetta is a sort of self-reflection of Hideki Kamiya on his past work. Bayonetta, the story, and its characters kind of reflect things from the first Devil May Cry and other Hideki Kamiya's games. And we can see elements of Dante, Angelo and Trish, for example, in the motorcycle driving Jean, who is kind of leading us, antagonizing us, and in the end even supporting us, just like these characters. And if you want to go for a wilder reach, you could even say that Boulder, being really interested in what the past Bayonetta is opposed to what she is now, can be read as the public wanting just another Devil May Cry from him. But that's just a stretch, even for my standards. In any case, just like Bayonetta herself, Hideki Kamiya, through the exploration of his past works, managed to create a new game, a new studio and new experience, which is one of a kind. And that's it. This sort of last bit kind of came into my mind while I was making this video, which I hope you liked. That's it. That's kind of it. Bye.
Enzo, her drinks are going on your tab, buddy. You deadbeat motherfucker.
Uè, ma sono le 5 Stelle! Gli angeli in Liguria! Liguria!